Hey, what's up guys, Cap Jack here, and we're back on Car Mechanic Simulator 2018, and it's been a fun ride. I had to spend a little while going all through the story missions again, because they had reset again back to 0, which is fun. So as you can see, my XP and my money is a bit higher than it was before. We're also on version 1.0.6, if you can see up the top right there. I'm hoping that has now been fixed. I started the next story mission job, which is one I've never done before, which was nice to see. And then I saved it and exited, and I've come back, and this is still here. But once it's complete, it might go back to the first story mission job again. I don't know. This is all a bit of a test for me. But they are getting around to fixing some things, so it's getting there. I think, you know, a year or two, it's going to be fine. But no, seriously, they are getting there. They are trying to get on top of it all. They really shouldn't have released it this early. I don't think, no, it's so not ready. Needed so much more testing. I don't know what they were thinking. But there you go, you know. That's life sometimes. So yeah, so I've got this job to do, and we've got to hope that afterwards it gives me the next story job rather than going back. I think that was all that was different. Yes, I'm sure it was. No other story jobs here, but what the hell is... Oh wow, Smith 1500, that's cool. Oops. Oh yeah, the other thing, I can't remember if I mentioned this before, but if you right click when you're not looking at the car, just looking way around, and you go to the settings menu, you've got a save game and an exit game there. Always use this save game, just randomly throughout, just so you're always backed up, because I think it saves every time you take a new job, but you never know when the game's going to suddenly crash or whatever. So always use the save game at the top, and then always exit using this exit to menu. Never use the escape key and then go save game and return to menu, because when you do that, it seems to forget everything. It keeps your general progress and it keeps your XP and your money and stuff, but it definitely forgets your story missions that way, or at least it has been up until this point. I don't know about after this point. And yeah, it's just it seems to save less. But if you exit and save using the right click and settings menu, it seems to save more, and sometimes it does actually save your story progress. It's done it like once before when I've used that method. So that's just some general stuff that I've figured out since anyway. I'm sure you've already knew about some of this. And let's have a look at this mission. So this one was the newest story mission, and I brought this machine from a friend who needed money quickly. He assured me that the car is working, but something strangely pulls it to the right. And this strange smell like mushrooms, which is kind of weird. From what I remember, he works behind a desk, not in sales. Anyway, check what's wrong and make it usable. Now what I had done was I'd taken it down the path test, which now works by the way, which is good. And that had figured out a whole bunch of these things. And I was also going to take it over to the test drive. What did I do that? Did I do? No, I did the test drive facility. Yeah, I did both. So I did test drive and path test to make sure they both work okay. And that gave me all this stuff. So basically now I just need to figure out what these other little bits are, which I think are probably going to be smaller things that I haven't been able to find. Let's find a toolbox. I've got 2 points available. Repair chances, tyre tread tester. I suppose that's slightly handy. Isn't examine 3 parts. But the tablet's not like something I really care about right now, to be honest. All I really want is that, which I can't get until I get that. Oh, 100% faster screwing and unscrewing. Oh, it's locked. No way. So I guess I have to get that first, then I can get these two. So unlock that one. Or maybe I have to get a couple in this level. That's annoying. Alright, well that's going to be quite handy. I really don't care about the tablet. I always forget about it and end up going back to the computer anyway. But yeah, so we got that. So we've got a whole lot of suspension and braking, and look, you can see it all here. So yellow is fine, I believe, and the red is where things are truly broken. You've got rubber bushes, lower suspension arms, tie rods, in and outer by the looks of things. What's that I spy through the wheel? Looks like there might be something going on in the wheel there. Maybe a disc. Yeah, look, discs. That's so annoying. That disc seems okay. You got a caliper that side. That disc and caliper look fine. And that disc. So we've got a few things that we can spy already. Just wondering what these other parts are going to be. See, it says there's a strange smell like mushrooms. I'm thinking maybe these undiscovered parts are going to be something interior, like seats or something, which I can't open because it's on the lift. Right, okay, let's get these other bits done, and then we'll figure out. The other bits. And then that way we should be able to get it all done. So wow, this stuff's really good. What is the repair minimums? 100%. Okay, so that's the new parts all have to be 100%. Oh, there we go. There's one of them. Hubcap. Yeah, that's 13%. What? I didn't ask for the oil pan. Oh, do come on. No, God. I hate this like click-through thing. It's so annoying. It really doesn't go anywhere near where you want it to. Right, outer tie rod. And that takes too long to spin in and out. I hate that zoom in, zoom out thing. You've got to wait ages for it to zoom back out again. Wow, the actual cross member itself. Wow. Wow. That is broken. Or if you're a fan of Barbie, it's broken. But ignore that. I'm full of bad jokes today. Let's see now. No, see, it does that zoom out thing, so I try and click on something else, and I end up being in completely the wrong. Go away. I end up being in completely the wrong place. So annoying. Was there an examine? No, I don't remember. Okay, so it's all the rubber bushings in the cross member 2. Let's go to unmount mode. Let's get these out. Reet. Let's take this rubber bushing. Wait for it to zoom out. Wish you could turn that off as a feature. But you can't, unfortunately, even though you could in 15. It was removable as a feature. Not so in this one. That radiator looks rusty. I don't think it's too bad. So we want anything that's red basically has to be replaced. And it has to be replaced with green only. Gearbox is yellow. Let's move over here. Oh yeah, I forgot about the tie rods that side. I think that's it from the front, is the tie rods. And let's go back to that. Remove that. Remove that. Was the steering rack red? Okay, we don't know about the steering rack. So there could actually be more red parts that just haven't been brought up yet because they haven't been tested by anything. Obviously the cross member is one of those. None of these parts look so overly rusty that I think that they're going to be an issue though. Okay, so we'll call that being down the front. Wow, the body is though. Jeez. Was there anything on the back? Oh yeah, there was what looks like some bolts in there. Bolts are red. We've got the bushings and whatever's behind these wheels. let's get the wheels off and have a look-see. Let's have you. Oh, so annoying. Looks like the solid drive axle's gone as well. The rest of that doesn't look too bad. We'll also take this rubber bushing while we're here. Let's go around this side. I have that. Everything on this side as well. So we'll take you. We'll take you. We'll take you. And we'll take you. Quite a lot of parts to replace. Got a lot of money now though. And grab a bushing. Hopefully zoom back out. Right, let's have an examine quickly. I don't see anything else that's red. No, all looks fine. Fine. Cool, right, so we're thinking probably interior parts for the rest of it. So I don't want to put the car back together and miss anything, but at the same time, I can't check the interior without putting it back on its wheels. Right, let's just get new parts. Actually, let's break those tyres. No, let's just get new parts. I'll do the tyres, the wheels last. If I looked at what I need first. So we need, well, oh god, yeah, the game, when I was doing one of the last missions, it completely glitched out and gave me all these different rims that it would then not bother selling. It was very weird. So we need front shocks and caps. Actually, some of these are from the previous job, aren't they? That could complicate things a bit. I haven't. Oh, hang on. I haven't taken the shocks off this car, have I? No, they're still on. So they're from the last job. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I think everything that's left is correct and from this car. Really should have checked with this first though. So we need 4 calipers. Hang on, we need 1, 2. That one's not okay. So 2 calipers. 1, 2, 3, 4 discs. 4 pads. Vented. Okay, so 2 calipers, 4 pads, and a vented disc. Parts, brakes. So it's 2 calipers. Why am I buying those separately again? 4 pads. That's too many. And a vented disc. Okay. So I can get rid of that. Okay, I wasn't down far. What's that? That one's fine. And that. Okay, yeah, I think that's everything. Brake wise. So we need. Cylinders are fine, aren't they? Yeah, cylinders are fine. I need wheel hub cap. I need 2 wheel hub caps. Let's go hub. Let's go 1, 2. This is the slower bit, trying to get all the parts together. Trying to figure out what you need and trying to remember it all in your head long enough to actually buy the things. Let's go for rubber bushings. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 rubber bushings. From hub to rub. 9 rubber bushings. Go and settle the old ones. Oops. Okay, we need solid rear drive axles. 2 of them. Okay, I left a lot more stuff than I thought it was going to. Let's see, 2 of them. We need inner and outers times 2, is that? There's outer, oh, outer, yeah, inner and outer times 2 in a steering rack. Okay. What the hell? Is it all one word? Is that why it's missing it? Oh, that time was... What? Hang on a minute. Suspension. Why wasn't it finding it from the word tie then? That's weird. Steering rack. Steering rack. Okay. And then I need 2 lower suspension arms and front cross member B. So 2 lower suspension arms and front cross member B. Where is L for lower? L for lower. There we go. 2 of those. Right, that's all of that. It's a lot of stuff. But that is everything except the rims, which we can do last. Let's get this thing put back together. Let's go into part mount mode. Definitely want to chuck this on first. I do hate that zooming in and out. Right, let's chuck this steering rack on quick. Wrong side. Right, let's put you on. And let's put you on. And then let's put you on. Yes, I do want to put that on. Thank you. Okay, that is all of those parts. They're all shiny and new. Isn't it pretty? My pretty. Put the cylinder back in there. Like basically like a brand new front end. Okay, that's that side done. Let's wrong side. Let's go around here. Put it into build mode. Let's put a wheel hub gap in there. Let's put these rubber bushings in. There we go. Tie rods. No, don't go over there. I always feel like the mouse cursor is in kind of the wrong place. It never seems to come out exactly what you think it is. You, and you. Yes. I think I started on like, what was it, 18,000 something? Spent like a couple of grand on this car already. Obviously I'll make that back when I finished, but only just. And if you get like the smallest thing wrong, I mean I can save money by trying to do repairs, which I haven't done yet. I really should start trying to do that. Repair what I can because it's going to be cheaper in the long run. Let's go into mount mode. And this part here. This is one very broken car. I mean, it gets to the point where you're spending a few grand on a car that's old and rusty like this. You might as well just go and buy another one. Get the scrap value for this, or sell it on as spares and repairs. And then make a bit of money back out of it, at least. Just seems to be the more sensible option, rather than spending a whole load of money on brand new parts, and then what's going to go wrong next, you know? And the amount of money, like, I don't know about the US or anything like that, but certainly in the UK, the couple of grand this guy's going to have spent here on repairs, I could have bought quite a nice little runaround that would have lasted me at least a year, probably a good couple of years for a couple of grand. That includes things like tax and insurance. Okay, that's everything, I think, except the wheels and a rubber bushing. Don't I put the rubber bushing in? Oh, do come on. Okay, there's a rubber bushing in both sides. Why am I missing one? Did I buy an extra one and forget to sell an old one? I'll keep it on me just in case, just till the car's done. Let's go get these wheels and tyres off. That's slightly worrying when you end up with one more part than you should have. You start to wonder why you've got that. Actually, why am I doing the wheels and tyres? It didn't say I had to, did it? I just suddenly thought of that. What am I doing? Yeah, they're both yellow, so they're not an issue. So yeah, I can just put the wheels back on. Why did I think I had to take them apart? I'm going to have to rebalance it now, aren't I? That's kind of annoying. I don't even know why I did that. Right, let's let that balance. I'll put the wheels back on. I'm in that mind frame today, I swear. Right, let's get the front wheel on. Can't believe I did that. That's hilarious. No. For those of you that might be wondering why I always tighten up wheels in a star pan, that's the way you're supposed to tighten them up. You should never go from one bolt to the next when you're tightening on things that have more than, say, 2 bolts. Even 3 bolts, because it doesn't really work. But once you get to like 4, try and always do a cross pattern. Because that way you tighten them up in a better way, because you're not putting pressure around one side, getting that all tightened up, and then putting the other side on, and it ends up tightening up wonky. This way you're putting that side on, then you're coming down here, okay, so that's pushing that side on a bit more. But then you come over here, well, that's pushing this side on a bit more. So basically you're tightening it up in an even fashion, so that the wheel isn't going on in a slightly weird way. And it's the way that anyone who ever takes off one of your wheels and puts it back on should always put it on this way. And you should never just use an air gun. You should always use a torque wrench afterwards to get that final click, just to make sure it's at the perfect torque. And if people aren't doing that when they're taking your wheels off or putting your wheels back on, or if you're not doing that with your own wheels when you're taking them off and putting them back on, then you need to start. So what? Hang on. Brake caliper, vented disc. Oh look, so it wasn't anything to do with the interior. Everything is showing now, but the reason it wasn't showing was because some parts are built within other parts. So like one of the lower the lower suspension arms, that's got 2 rubber bushings that go into it, but you can't see those until you take it off and they become a separate part. So we've got a rubber bushing and a brake caliper somewhere. I swear I did all the brake calipers. They were all yellow, 55%, which is acceptable for doing stuffs. Well, these 2 calipers are brand new. What? Well, that's disconcerting, and somewhere there's a rubber bushing that needs replacing. Is it that one? That did come up red, but now it's coming up as yellow. That's weird. I'm sure I put a new one on there. Go away. Let's just buy another one just in case. I get a weird feeling that something isn't right here. No, just remove the damn thing. Let's put the new one on. Okay, that's sorting out the rubber bushing. No, brake disc ventilated. And brake caliper. I thought I got all the vented discs. Or did it put one of the old ones back on? Oh, God damn it. Well, you can see that disc is brand new. But that one isn't. Okay, so basically, when I was putting stuff back on, instead of bringing the newest thing to the first in my queue, it was bringing the older ones. Look, look. So if I put it into assemble mode, I click there, and for some reason it was giving me one of the old ones. 80%. That's what I just took off. That's good. That doesn't need replacing. Or does he specifically want, because that part was a broken part, he specifically needs that to be 100%? Okay. Game's kind of weird compared to the old one. Like the old one, if it was okay, if it was above the certain level that it needed to be above, then you could leave it, even if it was on the list. Or it just wouldn't go on the list if it was above that level. It would only be stuff that was in the red that went on the list. This is very weird the way they've done it. Okay, that's 100%, but that's not. So we're thinking, no, because they've all got 55 cylinders in them. Okay, I'm going to call that side done. This is very weird to me. That caliper's fine. Just take it off so we can have a look at the piston inside it. 55. So that's all fine. Well, that's got me worried now. So it's literally just a caliper and that's it. No, not that one. Go away, not that one. Right, let's get rid of you, let's get rid of you, let's get rid of you. Just make sure I don't put anything on that is not supposed to be going back on. Could be this caliper, it does look a bit rusty. Huh. Look how bad that brake is. I thought I changed them all. Oh yeah, disc 55. The caliper's 55. Okay, let's just check the other side quickly. If they're both 55, I'm just going to replace them both and just be done with it. It should be fine with 55. Okay, this is really, really strange. 55, 55, 55, 55. See, where it says down here, repair with minimal parts condition, that should really say 55. But we want you to put new parts on the car. So that's just because these parts aren't on the car currently. Although I've got two calipers off. So pads on one of these calipers was something that had to be replaced, basically. is what it's saying. So because one of them was on the list, that one had to be replaced with 100% part, but the other one that wasn't on the list didn't matter. Which is a very strange way of doing things. If they're both at the same level, then they both need replacing. It should be about the level, not just whether they're on the list or not. This is really weird. I don't fully understand it, to be honest. It's not like they've done in previous games, and it's kind of thrown me. But at least you guys know for the future. You know, when you're playing this game yourselves, that there are some very weird ways about it. Oh well, I mean, that's part of the fun of these games, is finding the weird ways that they work and figuring out how to get around it. Even the bugs I don't complain about, because they do add a bit of a comedy value. Though it would be nice if I didn't have to do all the story missions from scratch again. And if I have to after this one, I think I'm just going to stop doing them. I'm not entirely sure if the story missions give you anything. I've been trying to do them because they give you more money and XP, and because I guess they lead towards something later on. Some kind of unlocking of parts or something. So I've been doing them over the sort of more standard missions. Let's quickly check. So we've got green across the board. There we go. So I didn't have to do the interior. I don't know why the inside smells like mushrooms, buddy, but there's not a great deal I can do about it, I don't think. So that's £5 in the bank. Okay. Oh wow, and it's continuing on with new story missions that I've never done before. I'm happy about that. My car doesn't start, and even when it was working, the sounds it made were very strange. Every morning I woke up the entire neighbourhood. Please do something so it would work and not make such noise. I'm guessing it's going to be exhaust. And something like starter motor / alternator and battery. Salem Flamo. Flame on! Okay, that was kind of weird. When I moved the car over to the lifter, I got black screen. I could still do stuff in the background. I could hear, if I clicked that, I could hear the noise it makes. I could hear the menu noise. It was just a black screen. It had the 1.0.6 top right, and it had 44 FPS top left. And that was literally it. The rest was black. And I could just hear the game in the background. That was really strange. But okay, it's back. So my car doesn't start. I also want oil change. So it doesn't actually start at all. I mean, if I send this thing to the test track, it's gonna say no, because this car doesn't start currently. I mean, oil change is probably gonna be part of that, I reckon. Yeah. So it can't start at all. Okay. I'm going to make the general assumption, oh excuse me, that part of the issue is definitely exhaust with the whole loud noise thing. I'm also going to make an assumption that there is something to do with the battery and possibly alternator / starter motor. I mean, this probably just needs a charge. Let's see if we can examine this. I need the electronic meter. Okay, let's take it out. 7%, yeah, okay. So maybe giving that a charge and then that'll put its percentage up? I don't know. Do I have a battery charger? Alright. Engine / axle lift, which I can't actually touch yet. I don't even actually have an engine crane. I just have an engine stand, which for some reason they call an engine crane. Is that an American thing? In America, do they call these engine cranes? Because the crane, to me, has the job of a crane. It lifts the engine in and out. Whereas this is just a stand that you put the engine on to work on. This doesn't lift the engine out. You never attach this to the engine when the engine is still in the car. I mean, you just couldn't, and if you could, it would be weird. You take the engine out with a crane, or if it's up at the top, you use the stand and drop it at the bottom, and then you can move it over to this and then put it on that. Usually you use a crane to attach it to this though, because obviously you'd have to lower that right down, and that's the height it goes to, and then you've got to try and wheel it over and get it on. It's complicated. So you'd always use an engine crane to attach to an engine stand. But is that like an American thing, calling it well, for me the wrong name, but calling it an engine crane? Answers on a postcard. But yeah, I'd love to know if there's any Americans watching. What am I looking for? I'm looking for the battery charger, that's it. Yeah, I don't have a battery charger, so I guess I can't repair it either, so it'll be a case of just buying a new one currently then. Let's see. I'm looking for the alternator and starter motor. Alternator is down here. Let's get that. Wrong button. Let's get that belt off quick. Might even do the belt as well. 65. Doesn't look too rusty. 65. I'm guessing that's going to be like the limit. 100% for new parts, of course. Battery. Wow, I'm getting so many phone calls. Starter motor is... there it is. I can actually do that from the engine bay now. You don't have to go under the car anymore. Okay, that's 65 as well. So they're both fine. It must literally just be the battery though, and the fact that it's dead, that's why it won't start. It must not, it's just so old, it's not holding its charge anymore. That's fine, and then it would be the exhaust for the noise, we reckon. Actually, just quickly check the manifold. Around the other side. That doesn't look too bad to me. The rest of it does that. I like these wheels. Very muscle car. Right, let's get this off then. I'm right again. I started right clicking all the time again. Okay, so let's get those new parts replaced. There's still so much that I've not done. I know I'm going to do the oil, but that's a different thing. My car doesn't start, and even when it's working, the sounds it makes are very strange. Every morning I woke up the entire neighbourhood. Please do something so it would work and not make so much noise. Well, the noise thing is definitely just exhaust. But the not starting thing, I don't know, is that... I would generally attribute that to battery systems, charging systems, electrical systems, except for in this game they don't go as detailed as having wiring and stuff. Let's set that fuel filter. Let's have a quick look at that. I mean, it could be to do with the fuel lines clogging as well. $25, yeah, okay. In that case then, let's check the fuel pump. Because if the fuel filter is sending all kinds of nasty through, we definitely want to have a look at the pump. That could be worn out. Because it's trying to work through... Oh, you look at that. It's trying to send all kinds of stuff through and it's just not going to be able to do it because it can't. Is that a tyre done? Oh, I got the tyre tread meter, didn't I? I just have to click into it. Examine tools, tyre tread test. This is like the slowest tyre tread tester in the world. I don't know what the limits are in America. Did you not examine any parts there? Examine 0 parts. Okay, not sure how that works then. Now, well, I will leave that. Right, let's have a look. Fuel filter, fuel pump, battery, middle muffler, rear muffler. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more parts to find. What could they be that would make it noisy on startup? Or noisy when driving? Or make it not start? Yeah, I think the noise thing is just going to be the exhaust. So, what else in this car is going to stop it from starting? Well, I suppose if there was an issue with the oil, the engine could have seized. I mean, we're talking new engine there. Oh, those parts look okay. Really got to stop doing that, I swear. Let's take the head off and just have a look inside. I've got to drain the oil anyway. Air filter looks... that looks half fine, half not fine. Well, the top end of the engine looks okay. I don't really want to have to open up the bottom end and get the pistons out and have a look at each individual one. Just to make sure it's not seized. Could be a timing issue. Let's get these bits off quickly. Let's just have a look, see. Oh, so far as a 65. Yeah, no, that's all fine. So a quick look inside the air cover. Just in case, with this game you never know. I do like these kind of this is one of the parts about car mechanics in general that I really love. Was going through, trying to find things that were wrong, trying to figure stuff out. Fault finding and stuff like that. Just brilliant fun. Let's lift it back up. But if this was real life, these would be the parts I'd be looking at. Of course, this is a game, and you not only do you have to think about what would it would be in real life, you also have to think about what the game's interpretation of that will be. Well, there wasn't much oil. Whether the game realizes that that's the way it is in real life, so that's the way it would be in the game, or should be in the game. Stop doing that. So you kind of have to think not just about what it should be, but also about what the game thinks it could be. Oh, look at the pistons. 65. Wow, really? I'm thinking 65 is going to be the limit here. So, yeah, rod cap didn't come up. So it's fine with that, apparently. It's fine with how damaged that looked. I don't know then. I'm kind of stumped, to be honest. Could be a part within a part. It could be a rubber bushing somewhere. So everything I'm looking at looks like it's a good 65-ish. Hemisphere and removal section. 65. This is very weird. Okay, I'm kind of stumped on that. I am literally stumped. Oops, didn't want that. My car doesn't start, and even when it was working, the sounds it made were strange. Every morning I woke up in the entire neighbourhood. I woke up the entire neighbourhood. So we've figured out these sounds, but I mean, there's just no other clues here. I guess I could chuck in the parts I've got, like replace them, put some new ones in, and then see what happens. Okay, it doesn't really matter about that. That's literally it. These are the only parts I can repair, the parts that don't even need it. Okay, looks like I'm going to go on a buying spree then. So anything that's on my list... oh, stop it. I keep pressing the wrong buttons. So it's middle muffler, rear muffler, fuel and battery. They have to be 100. So if I put muffler, middle muffler, rear muffler, I think it was this one, and then it was fuel, filter, and pump, and battery. So if I put these parts back in, let's see if we can get it started. And if we can get it started, then maybe we can put it on the test track or the path test and see what else is actually wrong. Which would be good. What am I doing? That's it. I need to do the fuel pump under the car. Exhaust stuff under the car. Rest could be above. So let's put you in. There we go. Let's do so fuel pump, exhaust. Okay, let's put the car back down. That's going to have sorted some of the issues, for sure. Just got a few more issues to go. So that's a 65, which is fine. That's a 65, which is fine. 65, 65, 65, and 65. So that's all good. Let's put this back on. Just realised that doesn't bolt on. I don't know. I'm trying to rack my brains. It's going to be something really obvious that I'm missing. I know it is. It's always something really obvious. It's just the way it goes. Okay, all that's back on. All that's fine. Let's do the oil quickly while we're here, so I don't forget. Okay. Let's put the new fuel filter on. Out. There we go. Right. So we got new battery. Now I've got to put the starter back on. Rubber bushing. Where do they get rubber bushing from? I think that was from my last job. Really got to stop keeping parts. It keeps confusing the hell out of me. Starter motor on and battery on. Okay. Let's see if we can set this to the test track now. It should start. Can I start engine? But why? It's got a new alternator. Not a new alternator, sorry. It's got a new fuel filter and fuel pump. It's got a new battery. It's got fresh oil. There is nothing else about this car that would say to me, can't start. I've checked all the timing. I've checked the inner workings of the engine. That's all fine. Just the fuel rail has an issue, but it doesn't look like it's a 65. Throttle 65. Intake manifold. I'm literally going to have to take every part of this car now, aren't I? This is very weird to me. 65. The block and the head both look about the same. They don't look that bad. God, could be a gearbox thing. I didn't even think about the gearbox. What am I doing? Literally just saw the gearbox and thought, oh, gearbox. What an idiot I can be. Let's put all this back on. That helps you're in the right mode. you back off. Right, let's get back onto the car. Okay, that's going to be a pain. Really? I can't see that far down the car. It's annoying how close you have to be to things. Okay, let's come up here. Let's get this thing out and let's check the internal workings. There's only going to be 3 things though, that's if it is. Oh, there we go. I don't know, so far it's looking like it's all fine. Yeah, all 65. There's literally nothing else I can think of that is wrong with this car. Ah, ignition. Could be wires. As he says there's nothing else he can think of. I even said electrical earlier, didn't I? What? Oh, it's because I forget how much detail they do put into the game. So I forgot that spark plugs and ignition distributor and cables were a thing. Like an idiot. Still, at least it's entertaining if I get it wrong. Like I said before, it's not just about what it is in real life. It's also, you've got to try and remember what they've actually put into the game. And because this game does do things in a weird way in some places, you don't think about certain things as being part of it. You know, you wouldn't sit there and think, oh, I'll be the spark plugs, because you just wouldn't think straight away this game definitely has spark plugs. You would need to have done a job on the spark plugs to remember that the spark plugs are a thing, which I haven't done yet. I haven't had anything to do with ignition yet, so I'm kind of remembering as I go. If that makes sense. It does to me. Right, let's put you back on quickly, just so I don't forget. Go back into this mode. Wires are 65. That is 5. Okay, so we're good there. Let's check every single spark plug. 3, 4. So, I think... Oh, what did I press? Yeah, there we go. 4 spark plugs and an ignition coil. That's what it was. I was running around all that time. Couldn't figure out what it was, and it was some of the most obvious stuff that I just wasn't even thinking of. But we got there in the end. We figured it out, and we got there. No thanks to myself. And thank you to all those people who've just sat staring at their screen for like the last 20 minutes shouting, check the spark plugs, check the ignition coil. I do apologise. Through the ether I eventually heard you. So that should be everything now. All parts present and correct. That's been done. Finish order. There we go. I do apologise for how long that took me to figure out. But, you know, we got there in the end. A couple more jobs and we should have another unlock available, I think, at that point. Oh, I do have one point. Faster unscrewing or electronic meter? I love the electronic meter. And the OBD scanner. Let's go with faster unscrewing for now. That's going to be a handy one. And let's make sure we've got some new jobs still. Porsche car from a dealer. Wasn't the cheapest, supposed it was a good deal. Blah blah blah. Okay, so yeah, we've got another new one. So it is keeping up with the new ones. Wrong button. Let's save it quickly. Up top there. There we go. And I'm going to leave it there for now. It's been quite a long episode with me getting so much stuff wrong. I'm going to blame it on being tired. That works as an excuse. But I will definitely not mess up that badly next time. But yeah, so thank you for watching. I'll be back soon with some more of this. And other games, hopefully. I'm going to start playing. I'm going to find some fun ones for you guys. I hope you're enjoying it, and I'll see you all in the next one. So thank you very much for watching, everyone. Take care, and bye-bye.